The Supreme Court is back in session tomorrow, and we're taking a look at some of the top cases on the docket this term. From a challenge to President Trump's sweeping tariffs to arguments over the president's ability to fire people, the High Court will also take on the hotly debated issue of transgender athletes in girls' sports and redistricting battles across the country. Here to break it down is former Whitewater Deputy Independent Counsel and Fox News contributor Sol Wisenberg. Sol, there's a lot going on here that the Supreme Court's going to be taking a look at. Big cultural issues, executive power as well, even looking at some of these congressional maps and gerrymandering issues. Which case are you paying the most attention to?
Boy, that's really hard to say. This is going to be one of these because they're all so important. It's one of the most, Lisa, one of the most consequential Supreme Court terms in recent memory, and we've had a lot of consequential terms. I think to me, the most important are the Trump versus Slaughter and Trump versus Cook, the two that involve his ability to fire certain federal employees. Lisa Cook is a Federal Reserve Board member, and then Rebecca Slaughter is a member of the Federal Trade Commission Board. And I think you're going to have different results there. I think he will be prevented from firing Lisa Cook of the Federal Reserve Board and will be allowed to fire Rebecca Slaughter of the Federal Trade Commission because of the special the special function and features of the Federal Reserve Act. And that's what's going to govern the Lisa Cook case.
Interesting. I wanted to get your take on this as well with what's going on with the individual who tried to kill Brett Kavanaugh. Let's look at that for a second. So this Biden-appointed judge has been slammed for a lenient 8-year sentence in Kavanaugh assassination plot. So this is what was noted. So Judge Deborah Boardman, a Biden appointee, said she factored into the sentence her concern about Trump's executive order requiring transgender inmates to be detained in prisons that correspond to their sex at birth. So this individual, Nicholas, who wants to go by Sophie, showed up at Brett Kavanaugh's place, tried to assassinate him with a pistol, a knife, a crowbar, tactical gear. But because Nicholas, I guess, wants to go by Sophie, he gets 8 years instead of the recommended 30. Why? And what does this mean?
Well, I don't think a 30-year sentence was ever a realistic possibility. I disagree. First of all, she's I have found her to, she is a very conscientious sentencing judge. I disagree with her factoring in the way that inmates are assigned in prison. I think that may be a problem with the sentence. But she was also affected by the fact that Sophie, if we're going to call Sophie that, decided to turn herself in once she saw deputy marshals out there. Yes, she saw the marshals, but she had not. The judge thought that was significant. And
okay, but hold on.
All of these cases.
But okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, I say Nicholas because he's a man, but you do what you want to do. But to me, it's Nicholas. But 8 years. I mean, we're already having Charlie Kirk was just assassinated.
I just didn't remember his name.
Yeah, but I get it. But Charlie Kirk was just assassinated. We're increasingly living in this culture where Democrats are making excuses for this sort of behavior, and then you have a judge who gives 8 years to someone who shows up at Brett Kavanaugh's house with a whole list of things, clearly with the intention of killing him. I mean, is 8 years enough? What message does this send, Saul? That's what worries me here.
It worries me, too. I don't think it's enough of a sentence. I haven't read the sentencing memos. I haven't read everything. But, no, I think it's clearly too lenient of a sentence. Whether or not the government's going to appeal will be an interesting question.
All right. Well, we'll take a look at it.
I do know this. I do know this. She is a very intelligent judge, and she is very careful when she engages in sentencing. So if they're going to get her reversed on appeal, it'll have to be because it's a substantively unreasonable sentence. I guarantee you she did everything procedurally correct when she sentenced Nicholas/Sophie.
I want to go on the record of saying I have zero respect for the judge for citing that issue, the transgender issue, as some sort of excuse and then giving a slap on the hand to someone who's showing up at a Supreme Court justice's house trying to assassinate him with a whole list of things, including a knife and a gun. So with respect, I don't share that same sentiment for the judge. But Sol Wisenberg, thank you for joining us this morning. We appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thank you.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.